just doing this. Hi, everybody, and Kate here doing my Autism blog. And today, I don't know if it's going to work because I'm doing it on QuickTime, and I don't know if it'll share for TikTok. But I'll probably do this one in two parts, and I want to talk about demand avoidance today, and which is strongly associated with autism and a massive subject. So they call it pathological demand avoidance, and I really don't like the word pathological. It sounds, well, pathological and negative, and like pathological liar, psychopath. It sounds very early 20th century and medical model. And I have heard that autistics and people with this condition have renamed it as a persistent drive for autonomy or pervasive demand avoidance. That's better. If you Google it, you'll find useful links from the PDA Society, whose links I'll include in the written blog. The PDA Society happily use the P word, as they say it's pathological when it's extreme, whereas some level of demand avoidance is very commonplace. But when it becomes extreme, it's not a case of someone choosing not to do something, but being physically unable to cope with the level of demands. I would add mentally as well. So I would use excessive instead of pathological, and this may have been suggested elsewhere, or another word, maybe just leave out the pathological bit, but or how about phobia and avoidance of demands, PAD, anyway. But the term pathological demand avoidance was originally developed by British psychologist Elizabeth Newson, and used to describe a group of children, I'm quoting some of this here, who didn't fit into the stereotypical presentation of autism recognised at that time, but who shared certain characteristics with each other, the key one being a persistent and marked resistance to demands. The overwhelming anxiety of realising that a demand cannot be avoided, or that these forms of resistance have been exhausted, may result in meltdown or panic, potentially including aggression. These states are usually out of the person's control. The proposed core characteristics most commonly cited are resisting and avoiding the ordinary demands of life, using social strategies as forms of resistance, for example, distraction, giving excuses, and other proposed characteristics cited include appearing sociable but experiencing differences in social understanding, such as recognising hierarchies, experiencing intense mood swings and impulsivity, appearing comfortable in role play and pretense, and displaying dedicated and focused interests, often focused on other people. The article that I've read from made a distinction between direct demands and indirect demands. Direct demands are requests or questions made by other people or situations, such as put your shoes on, sit here and wait, pay this bill, or would you like a drink? Now, I thought, why is that one included? Of course, it demands an answer, yes or no, and some people do find difficulty being put on the spot. In addition to these more obvious direct demands, there's a whole raft of indirect and internal demands, including time. I'll probably talk about that more in the one that I do, about my own experiences, but time is an additional demand on top of the demand itself. Plans. Advanced planning may lead to increased anxiety as the time date for the plan nears, but equally the intolerance of uncertainty that is a key factor in PDA may make spur-of-the-moment activities tricky. Oh God, I could really relate to that one. Questions. The expectation of being required to respond to a direct question can be disabling. Decisions. Sometimes knowing a decision has to be made makes it a demand, or options paralysis may set in if there are too many possibilities. And I really had that, where like a kid in a sweet shop, or there's this alternative or that alternative or another one, and you just can't make a decision. And yet indecision has caused me anxiety. I like a decision to be made, but on the spot is sometimes difficult. I like to think about it. Internal body demands such as thirst or needing the bathroom, thoughts, desires, internal feelings. Uncertainty. Research from Newcastle University showed that intolerance of uncertainty, which is what I was saying perhaps about the indecision thing, is a significant factor in PDA, with PDA autistics needing to know and feel in control of what's going on. Praise. Now that's odd one. I wasn't. So this carries the implied expectation that the action will be carried out again or improved on next time, and so may not achieve the positive reinforcement that may be intended. So that's interesting, and I can see that, yes. And transitions, the demand to stop and switch what you're doing, and also the uncertainty around what may come next. Expectations from others and of yourself, definitely. Sensory overload and sensory integration difficulties, definitely. Other people's energy and presence, definitely. Things we want to do, like hobbies, seeing friends, or special occasions. So not just the things we might not want to do, like housework or homework. And that's just, I've always noticed that, I get as much anxiety and stress about things that I'm supposed to enjoy than, things that most people don't enjoy, that most people would see as a pressure. So, yeah, it's all the other demands that come with it. So, now here's a few quotes. The single most important thing to a PDA individual is their autonomy to decide things for themselves and be in complete control of what they do and where they're going. That's from Joe Richardson's Different, Not Deficient. Here's another one from Purple Ella in Demand Avoidance. If I put something in my diary, as soon as it's in black and white and it's a demand, I feel anxiety. I feel anxiety as I put it in my diary. I feel anxiety in the lead up. I feel anxiety on the morning when I wake up and that thing is in my diary. It makes me experience demand avoidance, even if it's something I wanted to do. Ditto putting a task on my to-do list. As soon as the demand is on my to-do list, it's a demand and it causes anxiety. I really relate to that, but with the list, not so much, because I'm in control of my list. I can postpone it, I can take it off, but if it's something I've got to do, that's a different matter. And I know that feeling about events that you have to go to or that you're expected to go to. Here's someone from Riko Ryuki. I found that by giving myself an out, then it is much easier to meet demands because I know I can change my mind whenever I want. I'll tell myself you don't have to do it if you don't want to. This works quite well, and I really relate to that. I've often said that I always need an exit with things, and I always related it to agoraphobia, and not necessarily, which I'll talk about next time a bit. Here's another one. Tomlin Wilding, The Demand Cup. Being actively given freedom and autonomy through choices, self-direction, autonomous motivation and respect of competence and consent can empty the demand cup bit by bit and keep it emptier. Further to this, allowing plenty of demand-free time and rest allows the demand cup to naturally empty. I can relate to that. And I can't find it here. Here's another one. Steph Curtis, Strategies for PDA. Direct demand should be removed from the language wherever possible. It is vital to reconsider the words we use to communicate. So no need, must, have to, and instead much more of may, could, would you like, how about, etc. More of I wonder if we might be able to, or I'm not sure how to do this. Could you show me? Now, there was another quote about somebody who had to postpone everything for the whole week before doing it, and I've definitely had that. I've just need to almost call it in suspension by not. That's reminded me of another one to put off when I talk about my own experiences. But yeah, that feeling of you need to sort of have your downtime and not use up your spoons. And they did actually mention spoons, and I can't find it. So Anyway, that's as I say, these are very relatable, and I've got a whole lot of similar scenarios and different ones that have come to me, which I'll do a separate video on next time. So this one's quite long, so I'll leave it for. I'll finish now. Bye. Hope you found that interesting. Bye.